All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. So last year we saw both the Los Angeles Rams and Seattle Seahawks go 10-7, but it was the Rams who won the NFC West while the Seahawks had to watch the postseason from home. This time around, both the Rams and Seahawks are once again in contention to win the NFC West, while the San Francisco 49ers are going to have something to say about this matter as well. But with the stretch run right around the corner in this NFL season, which one of these teams is going to prevail in order to win this division? So you're looking at it right now. And the Rams are 8-2. The Seahawks are 7-3, and the Niners are 7-4. So we've seen the Rams and 49ers split their season series this season with the road team winning each time, while we just saw the Rams take the first game from the Seahawks this past Sunday. Now, Seattle is 0-2 so far against Los Angeles and San Francisco this season, while both the Niners and Rams are 2-1 in this equation. Now, clearly, the Rams have the upper hand at the moment due to the fact that they are currently in first place. But do they have the inside track to win this division? You look at the Rams right now this season, and plain and simple, the play of quarterback Matthew Stafford, who's playing like an MVP. Okay, you look at this Rams offense overall. You look at Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams at wide receiver, arguably one of the best wide receiver duos in the National Football League. And then, of course, the running ability of one Kyron Williams. You look at the 49ers, and I think this is a credit to their head coach, Kyle Shanahan, because they've been a mash unit all season long, but yet and still they're right there in that mix. They just got quarterback Brock Purdy back. Credit to Mac Jones for holding it down at the quarterback position. They just got tight end George Kittle back a couple of weeks ago. Nick Bosa is out for the season due to an ACL injury. Fred Warner is out for the season, and the Niners have just had injuries on both sides of the football, but yet and still, they're still 7-4. You look at Christian McCaffrey; he continues to be one of the best all-purpose backs in football. Getting George Kittle back was definitely huge for the Niners because whether it's Brock Purdy or Mac Jones, he is definitely their security blanket. He knows how to move the sticks. Credit to Robert Saleh, his first year back as the Niners defensive coordinator after several years with the New York Jets. And in spite of all of the injuries, because this is not the same talented defense that Robert Saleh had when he left the 49ers after the 2019 season. Okay, this is one of those where this is a mash unit, but still you see the coaching ability of Salah. He knows how to coach up a defense, and this unit is getting after opponents. And then there's the Seahawks. They were rolling until this past Sunday, and they still almost found a way to steal a game against the Rams on the road in spite of all of the turnovers. One big question for me with the Seahawks going forward, and I said it coming into the season regardless, do you trust Sam Darnold at quarterback? 4 interceptions this past Sunday against the Rams, 7 interceptions overall in his last 4 games. And that is something that is going to have to be corrected coming down the stretch if the Seahawks are going to have some success in order to win this division. The bottom line is Seattle needs to continue to run the football with Kenneth Walker and also getting the football to wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jengba, who in a very quick time has become one of the better pass catchers in the National Football League. Now, you look at all three of these teams in this equation. All three of them know how to get after opponents at the defensive end of the field. They can wreak some havoc. TFX, what's going on, my man? You're saying what's going on with Kyler Murray? Is he getting run out of town? Listen, I actually talked about this several days ago, and I will circle back to it right now just for you. I think Kyler Murray is about to get the Derek Carr treatment. in Arizona, like how Derek Carr got with the Raiders, kind of like what Daniel Jones got with the New York Giants. Is basically, you know what? I think don't be surprised if he's going to be a healthy scratch for the rest of the season because the Cardinals are more than likely going to have themselves a new head coach in place for 2026. Regardless, the head coach that they have right now, Jonathan Gannon, as well as the general manager, they were not the ones who gave Kyler Murray this extension. They're not attached at the hip with him. And I think going forward, the new regime might just suck it up and be willing to deal with the cap hit as far as releasing Kyler Murray and letting him go someplace else and play football. A lot of questions about Kyler Murray, including his leadership. And that is a big reason why the Cardinals are looking up at the rest of their adversaries, if you will, in this division. And that is why the other three teams, are the main topic of this portion right now, if you will, because they are the ones who are in contention to win the division, and they are the ones also who are in contention to get to the postseason. So I hope that I was able to answer your question right there. But yeah, all three of these teams, if they get after you defensively, the Rams can heat you up, so can the Seahawks, so can the Niners. And the thing is this: when you play defensive football, it travels. We saw that defensive football on display this past Sunday at SoFi between the Rams and the Seahawks. And like I said, uh, Seattle had a litany of turnovers in that game, and they still had a chance to win at the end. Jason Myers, unfortunately for their sake, missed that long field goal. But nonetheless, with all of those turnovers, Seattle also caused some turnovers on the Rams and gave them their offense some opportunities to go out there and win games. So, like I said, when you have a good defense, it travels, and it is definitely going to keep you in games. You look at it right now. Okay, conventional wisdom would say, well, you know what? Maybe take the Rams to win this division. I'll tell you like this: I think the stretch run of this regular season is going to be very important. Week 16 on Thursday night. I know the folks at Amazon are loving this. You've got Los Angeles at Seattle. That game is going to go a very long way in deciding who wins this division. Week 18, you have Seattle on the road in Santa Clara to take on San Francisco. That game is going to go a very long way. I look at the final, basically 7 weeks. Okay, we got 7 weeks to decide this thing. The bottom line is, you want to say these teams need to take care of their business against the teams that they're supposed to take care of it against. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of soft spots on the schedule for either one of these three teams coming down the stretch. You look at the Rams; they host the Bucks this Sunday night. The Bucks are currently leading the NFC South, and I know that Tampa has some injuries, but you can never write them off. Remember, Tampa went to LA last year and beat the Rams. Okay, week 13, the Rams are in Charlotte to take on the Carolina Panthers, a surging Carolina Panthers team who is currently breathing down the necks of the Bucks for first place in the NFC South. The Rams in week 15, they've got the Lions at home. Like I said, they're in Seattle for week 16. The bottom line is the Rams still got two games against the Cardinals. They got games with the Falcons. They've got to go out there and take care of their business in those games. You look at the Niners. They get Carolina at home this Monday night. Not going to be an easy game. They finish up the month of November in Cleveland against the Browns, and you've got to deal with that tough defense led by Miles Garrett. And remember, the last time that the 49ers went on the road to Cleveland, they lost, okay? Now, this could work out for San Francisco right here. Week number 14, they get their bye. So we're talking about the beginning of December, and the Niners are just getting their bye. So you have a team that has been decimated by injuries. But like I said, they still have a shot. And on top of that, coming down the stretch in the month of December, they're going to be fresh. That's big. They host the Titans in week 15. That's a must win for the 49ers. But you look at these last three for San Francisco, not going to be easy. At Indianapolis on Monday night, home for the Bears in week 17, and then they finish up at home against the Seattle Seahawks. And of course, we know the last couple of weeks of the season, games will get flexed. So I'll tell you like this: if it's Seahawks Niners, in week number 18. Do not be surprised to see that game get flexed into Sunday night, okay, on NBC. And then for the Seahawks, they've got the Titans on the road in Nashville this Sunday. They're going to be heavily favored. They've got to take care of their business. They've got the Vikings at home for week number 13. You can never look past this Minnesota team. And then they've got Atlanta in week 14. But I'm looking at the last four for the Seahawks. They get Indianapolis at home in week 15. They get the Rams in week 16 on Thursday night. And then the last two on the road at Carolina and then at San Francisco. That Carolina game is not going to be easy because the Panthers are showing that they are very formidable and they are more than likely going to be in a shot or have a position to get a postseason spot right there, whether it's at a wild card or the division crown themselves in the NFC South. So that is going to be a very difficult game for the Seahawks. I'm looking at it coming down the stretch here. I think it's going to come down to coaching. Okay, a lot of experience with Sean McVay with the Rams. Plenty of experience with Kyle Shanahan with San Francisco. Mike McDonald, in Seattle is a new kid on the block. But then the quarterback play, and who do you trust right here? Of course, Matthew Stafford, the Super Bowl champ. He's a guy who's playing like an MVP. If you're Kyle Shanahan, you can rely on both Brock Purdy and Mac Jones if need be. And then you have Sam Darnold. And like I said, Sam Darnold has shown that he has turned the corner for his career. But do you still trust Sam Darnold in big game situations? You go back last year to the playoff loss when Sam Darnold was the starting quarterback for the Vikings in the wild card round against the Rams. You go back to week number 18 for the Vikings last year against the Detroit Lions. And then, of course, this past Sunday against the Rams. Do you trust Sam Darnold? That is going to be the $1 million equation right there. You said you think it's going to be Rams, Niners, Hawks, and Cards. You said you trust Sam Darnold for 17 days. Why not go for the full 21? But yeah, I'm looking at it like this. I think conventional wisdom says Rams to win this division. I'm going to give them the leg up at the moment because, again, they're in first place and they're up on everybody. I think they have the edge at the moment. Like I said, that wide receiver duo is so tough. And I'm talking about Puka Nacua and, of course, Devontae Adams. At the end of the day, I got to roll with you. I think the Rams win this division. I think it's going to be a toss-up for second place between the Niners and the Seahawks. And the other thing for me is, are we going to be able to see all three of these teams get to the postseason this year? It's going to be tough. Clearly, we know that at least one team from the NFC West makes it. I say it's going to be tough because I'm looking at the NFC North, okay? And in that division, of course, you've got the Bears, you've got the Packers, you've got the Lions, who, after their loss to Philadelphia on Sunday, are now on the outside looking in regards to the postseason picture, as Detroit is eighth. And do not count Minnesota out of the equation in that division as well. So I think with both of those factors, I think it's going to be very difficult for the NFC West to get three teams into the postseason. Not to say that it's not doable. It's just going to be tough because I think between the NFC West and the NFC North, they are really going to fight to get those three wild card spots in or on the NFC side. But nonetheless, this is what you want. Okay, intriguing football, intriguing division battles coming down the stretch here. And I think this battle, which it's going to be a battle in every sense of the word for the top spot in the NFC West, and it's going to be so important because you look at it right now, clearly you win the division, clearly you get a home game, and of course the possibility, especially right now if you're the Rams, because you're breathing down the necks of the Philadelphia Eagles, who beat you earlier this season. They're actually tied for the top spot in the NFC, but nonetheless, there's a possibility of getting home field throughout. And of course, if you get home field, you get that coveted first round bye. So there is so much that has to be decided between all three of these teams. Like I said, it's going to come down to execution. It's going to come down to the play call. Well, not really much the play calling, but the execution by the players, and more importantly, taking care of your business against teams that you are supposed to beat. Why? Because we're getting to that point of the season where you could basically throw the records out of the windows. Why? Because those guys that are playing for the also rans, they're playing for jobs for next season as well. Some of those guys are playing on teams where the coaches aren't going to be back. The coaches have already been fired. You name it. Those guys are going out there and they're playing for jobs. So a lot still has to be decided. To me, I think this is one of the most exciting races in the NFL coming down the stretch here for the season. We've already seen the Rams and Niners go at it twice. We've still got to see the rematch of the Seahawks and the Rams. And of course, the Rams this time around won't have the luxury of playing indoors. Again, I know a lot of these owners around the league right now, they're on that, you know what, let's get an indoor stadium wave so this way we could have events all year round. But guess what? Home field advantage still matters in the cold and in the elements. Right there, you figure up in the Pacific Northwest, you got to deal with the wind and the rain in the months of December and January. That's more to the Seahawks' liking. Get the Rams outside late in the season. Let's see how they deal with all of that. And then, like, again, we've got Rams and, Niners, Seahawks again to end the season. But nonetheless, this is a true battle in every sense of the word for the top spot in the NFC West. And make no mistake about it, whoever finishes on top of this division will definitely earn it. The Rams are legit. They are once again looking like a Super Bowl contender. Mike McDonald has something going on with the Seattle Seahawks. And again, don't count out Kyle Shanahan and company in the Bay Area. So nonetheless, one of the best battles in the NFL. It might come down to the very end, but let's see who has what it takes to win the NFC West. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw in this podcast, you know what to do. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. And also, don't be afraid to tell a friend. Check it out. TFX, as always, my man. Definitely appreciate the support. Definitely appreciate you chiming in. Definitely do not be a stranger to this channel this week because I still got a plethora of things to talk about football-wise, whether it's college football, okay, the National Football League. A lot of things going on right now. So definitely continue to check it out. And as always, I appreciate the support. And for everybody else, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can check me out anytime at 300 pounds of sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. Also, that same goes for Instagram, where you can check me out at 300 pounds of sports knowledge. TFX, you saying we got to talk about Scatterboo at Raw last night. Listen, I got plenty to say about that. Okay, and I'm actually going to have something to say about that tomorrow. Because the bottom line is the New York Giants are a train wreck. Okay, I could use a lot of other adjectives to describe what's going on with the Giants right now, but I would rather prefer to give you the PG-13 version just in case there's some youngsters that are going to pick this up somewhere along the way. But folks, if you're on Instagram, just like it is with the X, you can check me out at 300 pounds of sports knowledge. You give me that follow, I will do the same in return. And also, if you're on Facebook, please be sure to check out the Sports Depot 365. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the better sports groups going around social media. But folks, that's going to wrap it up. As always, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.